Hi everyone, a very good evening to all of you and welcome to this session. Uh, it would be really helpful if you can let me know if I'm properly audible and visible. Oh, so those who are watching me for the first time, my name is Niharika John Mehra. I'm your faculty of English and I have been teaching English for more than 10 years now. यहाँ पे मेरी रेगुलर क्लासेस हो रही हैं समथिंग लाइक दिस गोज माय शेड्यूल सो हम 1:30 p.m. आफ्टरनून क्लास में प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं कवरिंग टारगेटिंग ईपीएफओ एग्जाम ओके एंड दीज क्लासेस आर मंडे Wednesdays and Fridays okay then we have classes at 8 p.m. These are the daily classes Monday to Saturday editorial analysis everything that you need okay literally everything that you need to improve your English is covered in this session. You get practice of skimming, that is speedily reading and yet understanding everything. You're getting vocabulary, you're getting grammar practice, you're getting some questions to do to help your brain to make your brain practice and help your brain retain facts at least for a short duration कि कुछ question पूछा जाता है तो कितना mark कर सकते हैं हम. We don't have to read again and again the passage. These all are very important for your exam. May it be any exam. जिसमें English आती है उसमें ये helpful है ही. So please make sure you join daily this session. Okay. इसके अलावा you get free PDFs. So join a Telegram for the same. Details are in the description below. जल्दी से like और share कर दीजिए. We are gonna start in a minute. So skimming, as I said, it is reading in a way that that doesn't take a lot of time. Speed से पढ़ना फिर भी सब समझ लेना. Still understanding the core message behind the article. This is the editorial taken from the Hindu newspaper. Very much similar to the language जो हमें एग्जाम में देखने को मिलता है. So you skip, you jump and read. You don't read each and every word. You try to read more of like acronym if given. Don't go much into when and where, how much something happened. Numbers and all ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ो. क्या हुआ? What happened? Subject plus verb इस पर focus रखो. So you see, skimming is not that will just you will master it in 10 days. You will have to give your daily commitment for the same. तो आप ऐसे पढ़ते हो. Take a picture of it. Don't read it as if you want to learn a speech. Don't translate it. Don't pronounce each and every word in your mind. Sometimes देखना काफी होता है to understand है क्या सामने, है ना? So इस तरीके से read करोगे आप skimming में. On this editorial, I'm gonna make you do the reading part, skimming part actually. 2.5 minutes आपको मिलेगा. So please get going. And once again, read करने से पहले like और share जरूर कर दीजिएगा. So steep decline on the index of industrial production. Steep means it's a sharp, काफी तेजी से हुआ decline, नीचे की ओर गया number. It went downwards, and that also steeply, like that. On the index of industrial production, okay, IIP, rural consumption remains poor. So rural consumption is not doing well despite the lowering of inflation. Inflation has gone down. We also read another news about inflation a few years back, but here it says that in spite of inflation going down, rural consumption is not improving. So we will see more about how the consumption pattern is and what about IIP author is saying here. India's factory output performance measured monthly. So, factory output performance measured monthly by IIP and released by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation (MOSPI) slowed to an 8-month low of 2.7% in April. April में सबसे कम हो गया. At the start of fiscal 2026, okay, financial year 2026 के शुरुआत में we got a very low number. It also marked a steep decline, almost halving from last April's 5.2% growth. So if we compare with the growth what we saw in last April, it actually went down to 50%. This correlates with the monthly gauge of 8 crore sectors by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. It correlates means it connects. वो connect होता है with the monthly gauge means like an indicator, like एक measurement है that is of the 8 core sectors, not crores, sorry, 8 core sectors by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, which posted a 0.5% growth in April, also an 8-month low. So उनकी भी 0.5% की growth हुई. All together the numbers are low. That's what you have to keep in mind. You don't have to keep each and every single point in mind. More significantly, it is a steep decline from April 6.9. तो ये जो 0.5 है वो last year 6.9 था. The 8 core sectors make up about 40% of the weight of items included in the IIP. तो IIP में 40% का शेयर ये 8 core sectors, main sectors से आता है. This comes on a back of a 4% growth in industrial output for the last fiscal, which was the lowest in the past 4 years. So, जो industrial output का पूरा last fiscal year में growth है 4%, ठीक है? That is also the lowest in what happened in the past 4 years. Of particular concern, now author is narrowing down. It is the contraction in mining by 0.2%. So he has first gave us a general idea, month-wise, year-wise comparison of this year, last year. Now he is coming down to the specific core sector. Contraction in mining by 0.2%, the first since August 2024. While the absolute value of exports has risen in the past decade from $25 billion in 15 to $42 billion in 25. तो ये जो है यहाँ तो इंक्रीज देखने को एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू में मिला है. Its share in exports has fallen from this to this 8 to 5. This still constitute a not so insignificant share. Not so insignificant is थोड़ा बहुत significant in India's overall goods exports at a time of great trade volatility. Volatility है, market volatile है, that means we get to see a lot of unpredictability. तो at least उसमें थोड़ा सा significance से carry करता है. However, both manufacturing and power production also slowed. So most of the core sectors are slow basically this and this percent respectively. While trade and tariff related uncertainties are most likely to have impacted goods output, now author is trying to maybe maybe analyze the situation why this happened. So such uncertainties are most likely to have impacted goods output. The continuing contraction in consumer non-durables, okay, मतलब जो immediate consumption वाले होते हैं, non-durables output for the third consecutive month. Consecutive means back to back. So contraction in non-durable output for back-to-back 3 months suggests persistently low rural consumption. From this pattern, we can see there is drop in rural consumption, as essentials such as food make up a significant portion of consumer non-durable. And like one of the topmost things that comes under non-durable is the food part. This is a clear indication that despite retail inflation, now from this we understand, despite retail inflation hitting an almost 6-year low, in spite of retail inflation going low, that happened after 6 years, it has not translated into, again, resulted into higher spending power for rural communities. So still people are unable to buy, they are unable to afford in a way. They are not spending on it. Where consumer non-durables have the most demand. And actually rural communities are the places where we expect non-durables to be purchased more, to be in demand. Or wahin par we are seeing that people are not going for it. Food prices contracted for the sixth straight month to 2.14, which led to below MSP rates for most staples at mandis. So again, the same thing that the food prices went down short term. Government must focus on raising rural incomes by implementing MSPs for farm produce more systematically. Now here comes the solution part. Author is saying if MSPs, okay, minimum selling price, can for farm produce, if we could implement better income through that, that can help. This would aid, this would help in increasing rural consumption, and that's how we can see people can, if they earn more, they can buy more. However, a surge in capital goods output is 20% in April, albeit from a low base, indicates confidence in the domestic economy. On the other side, we saw capital goods may surge, we saw growth there. This indicates confidence in domestic economy as investors continue with their plans to diversify exports. So this shows that domestic economy somewhere at least is doing better, attempting to rely less on the US, with trade related sectors expected to continue to stay volatile. Now we are expecting that trade related sectors still are unpredictable in the near term. The center must push the private sector to increase capital expenditure at home. At home matlab local, domestic. This will increase incomes. Now if center is encouraging private sector to increase capex, then this is what we are going to see. This will increase incomes, it will help in raising consumption demand. Okay. Export oriented sectors must also aim to ring fence themselves. This is a phrase. Securing themselves. Ring fence is to secure oneself. So aim to ring fence themselves from tariff, price and supply chain shocks. Okay, तो अपने आप को protect करना है इनसे by ensuring a robust domestic presence. Domestic प्लेटफॉर्म पे बने रहो, वहाँ से उधर भी ध्यान दो. It's not that export sector has to only focus on the exports, but they can diversify while also diversifying outside the traditional export regions of the US and the EU. And at the same time, there are other parts of the earth to be covered apart from these two countries. So we can think of them also. ऐसा author ने suggest किया. So there is a problem mentioned, then lot of data to support the problem, and then some probable solutions that he has given here. Okay. Steep means something that is sharp and drastic. Contraction means shrinkage or decline of something getting low in size, in number. To gauge gauge as a noun can be indicator, and as a verb is to indicate, to measure something. Tariff is tax or duty. Tariff is also the cost per unit. Persistently is incessantly. ये दोनों बहुत आते हैं एग्जाम में. Incessant word is often seen in. Essentials as a noun, essential as an adjective means very easy, something that is very important. At the same time, this word is also used as a noun, so don't get confused. This means basic things which are necessary. Mandis is of course a Hindi word but used in English as well. So these are the agriculture markets. CapEx, capital expenditure is investment spending कितनी हो रही है, okay, to grow to grow a business, to grow the market. Ring fence is to secure, to protect, अलग करके secure करना, अलग करके protect करना. Volatility, anything where prediction is not possible, it is so sensitive that it is unstable. Albeit is the synonym of though or although. Okay? That means it helps us understand contrast in a sentence. Diversify is to expand, broaden. Okay, now divert word or div देखते ही ऐसा लगता है कि सब बट गया. It is about separating one thing from this other thing. It's not always like that. Diversification, diversify your portfolio अक्सर कहा जाता है. So it's like expand. So, maybe you separate and expand, or what you do is you don't stick to the narrow path. उसे diversify करना बोलते हैं. The tone here was analytical and advisory. At the end, author has given some advice. Hence, advisory and analytical because a lot of numbers, and through that author is saying ऐसा है. That's why we can say this is to be done. That's why it is analytical at the same time. Okay. Main subject and verb of this sentence. India's factory output performance. There is, straightforward a compound noun we get here. So performance here is the noun, after which we have a verb which may or may not be the main verb. So just wait here. This is your noun, singular, that is your subject. Okay, performance. Performance measured monthly by whosoever and released by whosoever. So these two words are the adjectives helping me understand more about performance. Performance slowed to whatever number. So slowed is the main action जो performance के लिए हो रहा है. Okay? Yeah, slowed. Part of speech of this word. This is an adjective. Okay? This is interesting. Give me subject and verb of this sentence. How you are going to check if the subject verb agreement is correct. A preposition can never be a subject. Of is a preposition. Okay, a preposition is never a subject. A subject is either a noun or a pronoun. This is inversion. Okay, sentence starts with a preposition will complete the phrase of particular concern. That means ये मेरा subject नहीं है. Is the contraction. Other words में contraction is of particular concern in mining etc. So अगर यहाँ पे let's say contraction and something else होता, okay, contraction and dipping off, so we would have used are. Of particular concern are the ABCD exams. Now, whenever your sentence has this structure where you start with a preposition, you complete that preposition part first. Of what? Of concern. But that cannot be my subject because it is beginning with a preposition and next noun is completing the preposition. Then सीधे is आ गया. इसके बाद just like we see how we see subject verb agreement when there or here is in the beginning. So is contraction के लिए लगा है यहाँ. Okay, give me the part of speech. It's noun. It's noun. See, consumer non-durables. Non what? Consumer what? Non-durable. So what के आंसर हमेशा noun होते हैं. Same question. Give me subject verb agreement of the sentence that I have marked. Subject and verb. However, is your connector. After this, you direct get a noun that is surge. A surge, है ना? From that we know it is a noun. So surge in something, albeit something, indicates. Surge indicates something. So that is your subject, this is your verb. Okay? So the summary here is that India's industrial growth slowed to an 8-month low of 2.7 in April 2026 fiscal, primarily due to weak performance in mining and power sectors. These are the core sectors, and continued decline in consumer non-durables. This points that the rural consumption is low. Despite low inflation, rural demand remains tepid. That means it remains very low, Thandi. A spike in capital goods output suggests investor confidence. Apart from all negative, there was one positive, that was a spike in capital goods output. The center must focus on raising rural incomes so that boosting domestic capex and ensuring diversification from trade volatility. Exports वाला जो point है उसको अगर हम club करें. So you can see the whole crux of the article is summarized here. You have to do the same if you are preparing for any exam that has pressy writing in it. And hence हम daily summary भी देखते हैं. These are the examples for you. So start answering now. Answer is definitely C. What does the article imply, suggest by stating despite low food inflation, rural consumption hasn't improved? That means the incomes haven't risen in proportion to the price declines. That's why they are still unable to afford buying the way they were buying earlier. Interpretation है इसका. The answer again is C. Which sector's contraction serves as a major red flag? It is mining. सबसे पहले नाम mining का था. The editorial suggests that the surge in capital goods output may indicate what? High government borrowing, not mentioned directly, indirectly. Decline in foreign investment, FDI की बात नहीं हुई है. A fall, private sectors export diversification plans. Diversification की बात definitely हुई. The phrase ring fence themselves in the context of export sectors means. Now ring fence protection हमने देखा था secure करना. So strengthening core infra, strengthen करना, secure करना, different things. No. Lobby for tariff protections, no. Minimizing risk, that is to protect through strategic separation. That's what your answer is. Okay. C. Why does the editorial consider April's capital goods output increase only partially optimistic? Why? What is the drawback here? Answer is B. The base from which growth is measured was low. Okay, last part में it's skewed by the seasonal agriculture demand. एक तो seasonal agriculture demand के बारे में it's not given seasonal wala part, and anything that is skewed, it's like it took a sharp turn, something that is immediately turned, immediately twisted, तो वो वाला context भी नहीं है. Answer is B. Next question. So till I can share the session, guys. Answer is D. The government must push, subject must workforce firm, the private sector 2 plus V1 expand investment, even though global demand remains unpredictable. The phrase is for a while. For while क्या होता है? The correct use of syntax here, the correct phrase is for a while. I went outside for a while and they started fighting. So for a while के साथ ही चलता है. For while is nothing. While inflation had declined sharply when in recent months, the impact on what? Rural demand. The impact has been how? Marginal. Marginal is your adjective. Everything is good to go is the answer. यहाँ पे जो has been है, okay. The impact कैसा रहा है? There is no action. It is just how the impact is. State of the impact, and that's why has been is used along with an adjective. Don't think has been है तो verb का third form ही मिलेगा. It's not the case always. The contraction in mining, although concerning, although हो गया ना, is not yet surprising. क्यों बोलेंगे? We are already using although just before the word जिसके contrast में बात है. So the contraction in mining, although concerning, is not surprising, yet is redundant here. It's of no use, given the global trade disruptions and tariff related frictions. Okay. So this is now a standard rule that we follow for an exam. Okay, this is a rule which is skipped or which is not followed strictly at many places, but for exam we have to follow. इसलिए इसको ध्यान देना. Retail inflation hitting a 6-year low. This could have helped boost. So if help is or any form of help is my main verb and there is another verb after it, तो वो वर्ब के फर्स्ट फॉर्म में लिखा जाता है. वी डोंट यूज टू प्लस V1. वी यूज ओनली V1 विच इज बेयर इन्फिनेटिव. ओके, विद द वर्ड हेल्प. Similarly with the word see, I hear him cry, I saw her park the car. So see and the forms of it, hear, smell, these help, these are some verbs. They will directly take verb first form after them. तो टू नहीं आएगा. हेल्प बूस्ट कंजम्पशन बट रूरल कंज्यूमर्स आर स्टिल hesitant to do what? To increase what? Discretionary spending. Exporters are looking to do what? Diversify into what? Newer markets. That's okay. We can use the word newer comparative. It is understood that they are comparatively new. So, not a problem. Outside of traditional regions such as the US and the EU. US और EU अपने साथ में द लेकर चलेंगे. हम इनके कंट्रीज के नाम ही मेंशन कर रहे हैं. And that's why the is to be used. Okay, the article is always used whenever you have these words, any of these words in the name of the country. United, Union, Kingdom, or Republic. If any of these words is used as a part of name of the country, then you have to use the before the name of the country. Okay, yaad rahega? Yeah, that is a standard rule. We have to follow it strictly. That's it. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here and joining the session. I'm gonna meet you now on Monday. So Monday we'll have EPFO session here, and then a regular editorial session. Okay. So I hope you people are getting a lot of benefit from these classes. Consistency is an absolute necessary thing for you all. Okay. You have to make sure you are consistent in practicing and attending the session. That's how you will improve. Okay. And I really appreciate all those. Some of the names I know you now. So I appreciate you people being regular. Your attendance is going great. So keep it up.